All right, everybody, welcome to class. Today, I am just sending this video out to you. And remember that I'm just going to start sending these videos out rather than forcing you to sit through an hour of this with me, or for some of you to sit through 2 classes, or rather than to force you to meet me at a specific time. I'm just sending these videos out on Monday, and you can watch them at your own leisure. I highly recommend that you watch the whole thing today so you know what you're supposed to be doing this week. But the beauty is, from now on Mondays, I'm also going to be in my office during this class period. So let me just show you I'm going to share my screen with you. If you go to the faculty page in our Comp 1 section, you're going to see there is a Zoom meeting HTML right here during this class period. So whatever class period you normally would have Comp 1 with me, instead of me having a live Zoom, I will be in my office, and you can go to this Zoom if you need to talk to me about any question that you have. Okay, so I'm trying to give you a little bit more access to me. Of course, I still have my office hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m., that 8 a.m. hour. I also have my office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the 2 p.m. hour. I'm going to be in my office most of the time on those days. Sometimes I won't be, but basically, anytime you need to talk to me during an office hour or during any kind of especially on Monday during your regular class period, just go to this Zoom, and I should be there. Obviously, always email me in advance if you want to make sure for sure that you can talk to me. There's sometimes I get called away on other meetings, or there's other things I have to do, and I won't be there. But most of the time I will be there. And of course, if you want to really make sure that I'm there and really make sure that we can have a good conversation, always email me in advance so that we can have that time to connect. Okay, so that is my office hour. It's as if you're going to knock on my door and come into my office. That's the Zoom. Okay, so let's cover what we finished up last week. So last week you handed in your final draft of Essay 1, and you handed in your process points as well. So I checked, and it looks like most everybody did a really good job of getting those in. I have a lot of grading to do, and I'm looking forward to reading your writing. It looks like most everybody did a great job with peer review, and some of you guys might have gotten a little confused. Make sure to take a look at my notes that I'll be giving out over this week as I continue my grading, and we'll make little tweaks and adjustments along the way. The biggest thing to remember when it comes to the first essay project, so Essay 1, all the stuff that you handed in, is that I don't count off very much. I really try to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I do expect that you'll learn. So if I make some marks or I give you a comment, even though I'm not marking off a lot because it's your first time to hand it in, it doesn't mean that I won't have to mark off a lot more later on. So some of the things that I think most everybody did perfectly, but when it comes to handing in stuff and following the rules, but some people had a hard time understanding, okay, we have to make sure it's a Word document or a PDF file. So always make sure when you're handing in anything that you wrote, even if it's on the discussion boards like a peer review, make sure you're handing in the actual file and you're not just typing it in the text box. Now, when you're responding to somebody else's essay on peer review, yes, of course, you're typing it into the text box, but we always want to upload our file so that whoever reads your essay can read it in an essay format, as opposed to just sometimes the formatting gets messed up. But anyway, yes, it looks like just about everybody did a great job at least handing those in. And of course, I'll be reading those and giving you back some feedback this week and possibly a little bit of next week. Anyway, so you've handed that in. Now, as of the time you handed it in, I expected you to read Essay 2, the assignment for Essay 2, the essay sheet, and you needed to start reading Love in the Age of Like. And again, if you missed out on this, go back to the go back to last week's Zoom where I show you how to find all this information. But basically, Love in the Age of Like is on the web, and Growing Up Tethered is in your textbook. Now, you're going to have to summarize these two articles. And unlike the last two articles, you do have to do MLA format on these. So that means a works cited entry, and it also means that you're going to have a citation at the end of your summary, okay? So, a few things, but first of all, make sure to read the inquiry textbook, page 64 to 79. And I'm going to show you right now how to get the works cited entry for these, and how to know what page to put at the end of the summary. So follow along with me. Now, first of all, in the homework and assignments in SA2, the SA2 folder, I actually give you the works cited entry for Growing Up Tethered. Okay, so if you want, I just give it to you. You can copy and paste that and just use that as your works cited for your summary of Growing Up Tethered. It is all correct. And again, that's in the SA2 project materials folder. And if you scroll down, it just says works cited entry for SA2. So all you have to do is copy and paste that at the bottom. Because remember, okay, we're just going to review a little bit. Remember that if you look at the summary instructions and example checklist, so always look at this every time. But if you take a look at the example summary, you're going to see that is down at the bottom. That is the works cited entry for this particular reading. So you'll need that from now on. Everything you're going to read and summarize for me, you're going to have a works cited entry. And I'm going to give you these works cited entries this time. Okay? And I want you to take a look at it. If you look at this, okay, Coleman, Jean, what do you think that means? Okay, well, that's probably the author, right? And then you see the next thing, learning survival skills. Well, if you read the example, you know that the title of the article is learning survival skills. Now look, it's in quotation marks. And that is because in MLA format, the title of an article is always in quotation marks. So you need to remember this, because both of the articles that you're going to summarize, they both have titles that need to be in quotation marks, okay? So then you got the next thing, voices and values, okay? This is probably the publication because it's in italics. You got the second edition, you got the publication information. Then 2015, what do you think that means? Well, it's probably the year that it was published. And then we've got this range in numbers. Now look at this. We've got this range in numbers here, 343 to 349. And we got a little different here. Uh-oh, well, we messed up. What we have here at the bottom, the page range, 343 to 349, that is the page range that it appeared at whenever it was in print. So we need to make a quick change, okay? Whenever I used to teach this in person, I had a much more dramatic teaching lesson that went with this, but you'll have to trust me on that. But basically, we always have the page range at the end. We don't put it anywhere else in the summary. We only put it at the end, okay? And you'll know what the page range is because I'm giving you the way to find your citations, okay? And notice here, that's all you have to put in the parentheses at the end, because we know the author's name up here, and you're not giving your own opinion at all in the summary. Remember, we never give our own opinions in the summary. It's only, this is what the summary said. This is what the author said. The author said this, the author went on to say this, the author went on to say that, okay? So we know that everything in this area is from Jean Coleman, and everything in this area is from page 343 to 349, okay? So how does this work for you? Well, all right, I've given you this works cited entry, right? Well, let's just pretend, we'll just pretend that the text that I have, this summary example, we're just gonna pretend that text is your summary, Okay, so the cool thing is you can just copy this, you know, copy, and then you can paste it at the bottom of your summary. Cool, done. I've got my works cited entry. Wow, Professor Coomer's making it super easy. But okay, this page range won't work. So what's the actual page range? Well, guess what? You got to look, and look what we have here. There is a page range right there, 578 to 591. Cool. I'm just going to copy that. Look at that. Now I've got a page range at the end of my summary, and it's in the parentheses like it's supposed to be. All I have to do is we're just adding MLA to what we had last time. Last time, everything else was the same. You still need to give me the title of the article. You still need to give me the name of the author, because now you know. From now on, you'll always have the name of the author. And then you're still going to need to give me the same things you gave me in the summary. If you forgot about those things, take a look at the Zoom sessions where we covered summaries. But remember, you've also got in the summary instructions example checklist folder, you've also got instructions. So summary instructions right here. As long as you're following these instructions, you should be just fine. Okay. And if you need to talk to me in person, if you have specific questions, again, remember what I said at the beginning of this video, we can talk. But essentially, as long as you're following these directions, you're good. Okay. So that is some information about the summary. Now, so I gave you the citation, so the works cited information. You have that. That's for growing up tethered. Now, pay close attention, because I'm going to show you how to get the works cited information for Love in the Age of Like. So if you go to homework and assignments in the Essay 2 project materials folder, so go to the actual article. So go to Love in the Age of Like, and I'm going to show you something that I think you're going to benefit from the rest of your school career. So you go to the PDF file, and of course we've got the article Love in the Age of Like. Great, awesome. Now what I want to do is I want you to see over on the right, there's this thing I'm hovering over. If you hover over it, it says Cite. It looks like a golden piece of paper. I always call it my golden ticket. I have a golden ticket. And then here it is. You click there, and this is going to give you all the citations you want. But remember, we're using MLA. So you're going to scroll down, you hover your mouse in the middle, and you scroll down to where you find the MLA citation. And then all you have to do is copy it. Okay. But whenever you paste it, I want you to be careful. I'm going to go to this example thing. Because if you just go right, if you just, you need to go right click, and then under paste options, you'll need to do merge formatting. Okay, you click merge formatting, but you notice how it still doesn't look right. We have to have what we call a hanging indentation. That's where the first line is hanging out. It's hanging out a little further than the other lines. So how do you do this? Well, just go to the end of the first line, press enter, and then tab, and then go to the end of that line, and press enter, and then the end of that line, and press enter, and then now you've got it. Notice how it's nice and neat. You've got the ends hanging out, and this is now your works cited entry for your summary of Aziz Ansari's Love in the Age of Like. Now, it actually, I'm just now catching this. It used to not do this, but it actually has a mistake in here. It has a different author attached to it. You're just reading Aziz Ansari's article. So you're going to delete this other person's name, and then you have Aziz Ansari, or Ansari, comma Aziz, comma Love in the Age of Like. Notice how Love in the Age of Like is in quotation marks. And then you've got Time Magazine. Well, that's the publication. The other thing you might not be familiar with is it's italicized. This is the database. But take a look. Page numbers. Okay, that's your page range. That's what you're going to put at the end of your summary in the brackets. Okay, in those parentheses, just like the example. So at the end of your summary of Love in the Age of Like, you'll have, it should look like this at the end. And you'll also, at the end of your summary though, you're gonna have the page range, okay? So take a look at the example. That's what it should look like, okay? If you go, again, the example is in our homework and assignments area. It's in the folder summary, instructions, example, checklist. You click there. Make sure, I know you've already done it one time, but every time we do a summary, it's always a good idea to look at the instructions and then look at the example. And then before you hand it in, look at the checklist to make sure you've done everything you needed to do. Okay, so that is everything you need to know right now about summaries. Okay, you're going to need to summarize those two readings. And let's just take a quick look at the calendar when you're going to have those done. The summaries are going to be at the end of week 7. So you've got all this week and all next week to summarize those 2 articles. I will be handing back your summaries. I've already got started on grading your summaries. All of you should have your summaries graded by the end of this week. So you'll have an idea of how well you've been doing so far on summarization. But just, of course, remember to read in your textbook page 64 to 79, because it goes into a little bit more depth on summaries. We're really going to continue to work harder and harder and harder all semester to get this summarization skill really, really down well. Okay, so having said that, you're going to be reading these 2 articles and you're going to think about summarizing them. And if you've read the Essay 2 assignment sheet, you know that you need to at least read these articles very soon, because you're going to be writing about one of them, okay? You're going to be writing about one of those 2, and you get to pick which one. So let's take a quick look at the Essay 2 assignment sheet. You scroll down to Essay 2 assignment sheet. You should have already taken a look at this, but if not, hey, just try to make sure to keep up in the future. Now you're going to see that it says this is going to be a 2 to 4 page essay. Now that means 2 full pages is a minimum. That doesn't mean 1.5. That doesn't mean I almost finished the second page. It means you must complete 2 full pages. And I always recommend that maybe you get just a little bit on page 3 just to make sure you meet the minimum page requirement. Because as you can see here, failure to meet these requirements will result in an automatic failing grade for the assignment. So not to be a stickler about it, but we do have to make sure to at least complete the assignment. And this is one of the bare bones basic aspects of the assignment. You must have at least 2 full pages. And then don't go really, if you can go up to 4 pages, I wouldn't recommend going much more than 4 pages. If you give me like 10 pages, I'm going to start counting off a lot. But really 2 to 4 pages is all you're going to need. Make sure you've got the Times New Roman, 12-point font, 2.0 spacing, just like in the template that I gave you in the very first week whenever we started this class. Now, in this essay, as it says here, you're going to respond to one of the readings. So you get to choose which one, Growing Up Tethered or Love in the Age of Like. And so I recommend reading them both and then seeing which one you have the most to say about, because you're not going to give me a book report. Okay, I want to make that very clear. You are not going to tell me what you read. This essay is not a summary in general. This essay is you responding to it. What did I think about the thing he said here? What do I think about the thing that she said and here? Okay, you're just going to pick one essay and you're going to respond to things that the author said in that essay. Okay, and I give you really good instructions here on how to do it. You're going to have an introduction paragraph. Whoops, I don't want to mess this up. Yeah, introduction paragraph, and with your thesis statement. And then the first body paragraph is going to be, you can just use your summary. Okay, if you just want to drop your summary of this article into your essay as paragraph as body paragraph 1, you can do that. I'm giving you permission to do that. Okay, you're going to keep the page range in the parentheses at the end, and you can just drop it right in there. Okay, so you're doing a summary and you're going to use it in your essay too. After that, you're going to need to respond to things that the author said. And it says at least 3 paragraphs. So at least 3 extra body paragraphs after that summary, responding to specific things that the author said. So for instance, in Growing Up Tethered, one of the things that Sherry Turkle talks about is that we are more connected now, but we're more disconnected than ever. Okay, well, maybe you agree with that, maybe you don't, maybe it makes you laugh, maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you've got your own personal story that you can tell in that one paragraph about how you relate to what that author said. These are all things that you can do. Or maybe you're responding to, maybe you like Aziz Ansari's article better. Okay, well, in his article, there's a thing where he's talking about how dating is harder now because we have just too many options. Okay, well, maybe you don't agree with that. And tell in that paragraph, that one paragraph, say, hey, Aziz Ansari states that dating is harder now because there are too many options. But I disagree because, and then just in that paragraph, you tell me why you disagree. That's literally, that's the meat of your essay. 3 body paragraphs about 3 things from your chosen article that the author said that you're going to respond to. Okay. Now, now remember, quotation and paraphrase. So you're going to read the part in the textbook about quoting, and it'll tell you how to paraphrase. I want you to try to do that in the essay, because anytime you're telling me something that the author said, you will need to cite it appropriately, and you're also going to need to paraphrase or quote it. So make sure to do that reading in the textbook so that you know how to do it. All right. So anyway, that's basically the essay. It's you responding with your own opinions to stuff that the author said in his or her essay. And then of course you're going to have a conclusion at the end. So I want you to read this assignment sheet on your own, read it multiple times before you hand it in, and make sure that you always know where you're headed. Now, because this essay may be the first time you've ever done a response essay, I've provided you with something that I'm not going to do very often, but in the Essay 2 folder, I have provided you with a template. So it says Essay 2 template. So you can actually use this Word document if you like, especially to help you with your outline for this essay. And I kind of just I break it down. This is what each paragraph should be about. Okay, so your thesis statement should be about this. Topic sentence number 1, this paragraph is dedicated to your summary. Okay, and then these next 3 body paragraphs, okay, those should be about, like for instance, it says, it should be about your opinion on the main supporting points that the author wrote about. The paragraph should discuss why you think it was a good point or why you feel like it was not a good point, or why it made you laugh, why it made you cry, why you liked it, what it reminded you of. You know, just basically give me your opinion. Just respond with your own opinions and you should be fine. So I recommend using this template whenever you start outlining your essay. And just remember that's in the Essay 2 folder. And you can use this exact one and just go from there. So this week, I want you to, we are going to start really fast. And all of these essays, like Essay 1, we took a long time really trying to get into the mode, into the process. And basically, we're going to speed up now. But I want you to know that every essay is going to be very similar in the way that we're always going to hand in our process points, because we're always going to do the writing process. We're always going to have 2 summaries, and we're always going to have a peer review on the discussion boards. Okay, and you're always going to peer review 2 people's essays from the class every single time. So we're going to repeat the same process, but the essays, the goal of the essay, that is the only thing that's going to change. So this essay, the goal is to respond to someone else's writing with your own writing. Okay, that is the goal. So this week you are going to watch some videos. So you're going to go to the homework and assignments and Essay 2, and you're going to watch all of the videos I have up right now in the Essay 2 lectures. And this is going to guide you along. These are pretty short. I tried to stay to the point and try not to give you too much that you have to watch. But take a look at the Essay 2 primer whenever you reread the assignment sheet. Then after you've read both of the 2 assigned readings and you've decided which one of those 2 you'd like to write your essay about, go ahead and watch the Essay 2 Invention Activities video. And then get started on, because by the end of this week, you should have done your invention activities, your brainstorming, clustering, or free writing. You don't have to do all 3, just do 1 out of those 3 that you want to do, but you should be completed with that by the end of the week. The other thing is, I want you to watch the audience awareness video so that you can write your audience awareness paragraph by the end of the week. So those 2 things should be complete. You're not handing them in, but they should be complete by the end of the week. Then by the end of the week, I do want you to start on your outline. Of course, if you're forgetting any of this, it's all in the syllabus. You take a look at the calendar on the syllabus. That's all I'm going over right now. But before you start your outline, go ahead and watch my lecture on outlining. Okay, make sure to watch it, and I'm going to give you some guidance as far as how your outline should be. Stay with my videos, and basically I'm trying to guide you step by step, so that you don't have any confusion and so that you have a really clear vision going forward. Okay, guys. So that is basically what we're doing this week. Just as a quick, let's just do a quick rundown of everything we just said. Again, I want you to read the Essay 2 assignment sheet and read these 2 readings, Love in the Age of Like and Growing Up Tethered. You're going to summarize both of them by the end of week 7, but you need to read them both because you need to decide which one of the 2 you're going to write your essay in response to. This week, you're going to watch my videos to help you complete your brainstorming, clustering, or free writing, and your audience awareness paragraph, okay? Those need to be done by the end of the week. Again, you're not handing them in, you're just keeping them yourself. Then you need to start the outline. Make sure to start the outline before the end of this week. Also, read in your textbook page 64 to 69 or 79, and that is about summarization, paraphrasing, and quotation. You do need to know these skills for all of the rest of the essays that we're going to write this semester. Okay, so we've got some work to do this week, all right? That's okay, you can do it. And just remember that during our regular schedule time on Monday that we normally would do a live Zoom, I'm going to be in my office, and you can pop in. Now, if there's other people in the office, you're going to stay in the waiting room for a long time, okay? And remember that if you really want to make sure you get to talk to me, email me and make an appointment with me. That's the best way. But remember, the easy way to get to my office hours is to go to the faculty tab, and then right here at the end, there is my Zoom office hour, my office Zoom. So I'll have this running in the background all day on Monday, pretty much. And during your class period or during the 8 o'clock hour on Monday, I will be in there. Of course, I do try to be in my office Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. To 9 a.m. And on Tuesday and Thursday, I try to be in there from 2 to 3 p.m. So you can always try me and just put that into your browser and it should go to my office. Okay. If you have any questions, make sure to rewatch this video. I probably have covered it, but if not, get a hold of me by email and we can see about maybe meeting in my office, my virtual office, or I can answer your questions via email as well. Guys, thanks so much. We are blazing through this semester. We are already on week 6. So we only have 10 more weeks after this one. So we'll be a midterm before you know it. Guys, thanks so much. And I will look forward to reading all of your stuff. I should be grading all of your summaries and your essays and everything this week and possibly into next week. Just depends on how long it takes me. All right, guys, go ahead and get started on your work.